What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We're back for another edition of the Dynasty Talk. I'm back here with my co-host Malcolm from Fly Society, my other co-host Chris from Let the Wookiee Win, and a new co-host in Trumpelo Bills, which is Nate Lors. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
Uh, hey.
I'm just super excited to be here, guys. First time on the podcast. Huge fan of the recent podcasts you guys have been doing. So, really excited.
Thanks, Nate. That means a lot.
So, Nate, you've been a division leader. We just talked about this from your side of the South for how many years? We've had this 5 seasons. Was it all 5 seasons that you've led the division?
I think it's at least 4. I think
Pretty
Max might have had one.
Yeah, Max definitely at least one season.
Yeah, but you haven't been to a Super Bowl since the first year, right?
Yep. Haven't been there. Been kicked out of the playoffs in the semis.
How many Super Bowls do you have?
He only went to the first one. Lost
Yep.
to
And I lost.
Damn.
lost to my dad.
I know what it's like to lose in the Super Bowl, so I guess you and I are
Literally, we all do. All of us know what that feels like.
Yeah, that's fair.
I know what it's like to lose and to never have won. And so Nate, you and I are definitely on this side of the team of this new podcast quadruple that we have here.
Yes, you both are over there.
Yep.
All right. Well, we stopped at week 1 last week, and then our audio got cut off because Chris's electricity went out over in Lake Mary. So
not even where
not-
I live, but
you're in Castleberry now, aren't you?
yeah.
Yeah. So,
We find out the reason. That's power
I
went
don't
up.
exactly know what the reason is. I'm not sure if we ever got a reason. Me and Malcolm just kept talking, and then we realized that Chris wasn't here.
This was a good conversation.
Let's just hope it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, we're gonna hope for the best. But we're gonna jump right into week 4. So we're gonna skip week 2 and 3, but we'll talk about that later. So jumping right into week 4, we're gonna get right to one of the better games, and that was you, Nate, versus Malcolm. How did that end?
Not great.
Not great for.
Not great for old Fly
For Malcolm?
Society. Yeah.
It was a disappointing week.
Yeah,
we're on the week 5.
Yeah, only 110 from our former reigning champion Fly Society. Not looking good after scoring 160 against you, Chris, last week.
Yes. Yeah. That was not a fun week for me. Just like this week was not fun either.
And Nate, you have to feel pretty good about scoring only 125 and squeaking out with a win against the champion.
Yeah, I was super excited. I think I looked at it Sunday night. Going into Monday, I was pretty sure it was wrapped up by then. So I was, really excited to beat the legendary Fly Society. You know,
Get them now while we're down.
Right on. Well, I think we can move on to the next game. That was Tom Foolery versus you, Chris. Let the Wookiee win. How did that one play out?
It seemed good at first, and then Austin Eckler and Justin Herbert both happened, but I mean, this year's been frustrating. Scoring a lot of points, but still lost 2 games. But it's only 2 games. I've lost more in 1, so not too concerned at the moment.
Yeah, I don't exactly know off the top of my head where this ranks among the largest scoring weeks in Dynasty League history, but I know it's in the top 5.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be close. Malcolm and
I'm
I
pretty sure
know
it's
have
in the
had
top
some
5.
pretty good ones.
Me and Lucas have had some crazy
Yeah.
high score,
I'm aware of who has all the highest scores. I'm just saying that I'm pretty sure that this point total of 184.3 is got to be in the top 5. I need to go back and check that and verify that. Didn't have time to do that before the podcast, obviously. But just breaking down how he got there, 27 points from Justin Herbert, 28 from Austin Eckler, 22.6 from David Montgomery, 18.9 for Jonathan Taylor. We got 13.2 from Joe Mixon. And then we have 17 points from Hollywood Brown, 14 from Kenny Galladay, 19 from Deontay Johnson, and then only 7 from Kyle Pitts. and then only 15 from Ryan Suckup, and then only 1 point from Miami Dolphins. Pretty insane. Just very consistent across the board,
Yeah.
and then 2 positions just really didn't do much of anything. But really not one player that scored any more than 28 points. I thought that was pretty surprising.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, man.
Makes me excited to have to play him this week. Great.
Yeah, Tom's another one. He's putting up a lot of points, but he's still same as me. We're both 2-2, but
I mean, you say Tom put up a lot of points, but last week he only put up 108, and the week before only 114. He did put up 136 in week 1, but really hasn't scored anything like that. And we've never seen Tom score anything like that. I mean, if we did last year, it wasn't really memorable. I can't imagine he was anywhere near 180. I'm guessing maybe
no, 184s. 184s doesn't happen very often. So
yeah. It's nice to see that he was finally able to put up a gigantic total week, like a legendary record-breaking week. Not the record, but close. Somewhere in the record books in the top 10.
Well, then
Do you think Tom's going to give up on Kyle Pitts at all? Look for another tight end, possibly in a trade.
He's gonna have to.
I mean, I think he's going to trade anybody on his team, then realize that he's probably not going to get the value he was hoping for, and then back out.
Yeah, Tom was. Tom. I'm not gonna. If you listen to this, I will not trade you Tyreek Hill. It's not gonna happen.
What if he tries like 10 more times? Then?
I'm sure he will.
Yeah. I know we talked about this offline earlier, but Tom did take this team over actually behind David Baldinelli, who played for 1 season. And then before that, it was Chris Hasanoff for 2 seasons. So this is Tom's 3rd year with this team. He just started his 3rd year. So it only took him 2 years to kind of build a record-breaking team. Although he didn't start out with a terrible team, Chris did make the playoffs year 1. Yeah. But let me go right back to the schedule since I was looking into all kinds of other crap. And we got Suck My Balls, Mr. Garrison versus Valyrian Steelers. And Suck My Balls, Mr. Garrison, really, really low-scoring week with only 75 points. Valyrian Steelers wins, only scoring 111, which was the 3rd lowest of the entire week.
Yeah, that's a pretty rough game. That's one of those, like, defensive battles. Just 5-3.
Yeah, not a lot to say there. I don't really think either team really played great here. Just to kind of take a quick look at why.
The highlight of this week, though, is a team that is picked in the bottom 2 for what 4 straight years is 3-1. Like that's the highlight of this. Yeah,
definitely.
like.
Just to point out Ricky's failures here this past week, though. He did start Kirk Cousins and sit Justin Fields. Kirk Cousins put up 12 points, but he also sat Dak Prescott, who scored 35.02. He would not have won by starting them, but would have gotten very close. Would have lost within 7 points.
Dak should be an automatic starter. I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah, I agree with that completely.
Myles Gaskins did lay an egg on him as well. Only 0.3 for Myles Gaskin. Very, very different week. Malcolm Brown got a lot of touches.
Yeah, I mean, Kirk Cousins was playing the Browns, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that defense has gotten significantly better.
Yeah.
I don't know how you don't play Dak there, but that's a manager error right there. I'll chalk it up to.
For sure.
Still has the greatest team logo though.
Saints D, not a good week to start Saints D either.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the Giants thinking they're going to throw a lot of picks, but if you watch anything from this year, you'd see that Daniel Jones isn't really throwing picks.
No, Daniel Jones looks pretty good right now.
All right. Well, I guess we can move right along to the next game, unless anybody has anything else to say about Tom's historic week.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, I think. Yeah.
Sorry, not Tom.
Ricky.
Valyrian Steelers 3-1 record.
Well, that and like we were talking with Tom, 184 is probably easily a top 10. Like 74 has got to be close to a bottom 5. It's got to be, right?
Yeah, I think we need to look those up. It's definitely needs to be looked up. I think we can look that up pretty fast, actually. So next game is Juju and your Hoo-Hoo. That's Max scoring only 116.7, and beating your dad, Chris, in Earth's When I Furt with 112.5. Just another low-scoring week. Close game, though. Max gets his second win, tying everybody else in the South for 2-2.
Yeah, my dad's lost a lot of close ones this year, but I think that's probably not a bad thing.
I'm just glad this one's not a loss where the other team like led the league in scoring for the week.
Yeah, no, I agree.
All right.
Yeah, I will say Max has a very hard decision every week with Josh Allen and Russell Wilson, and it's almost as bad as my Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson decision making from last year.
Well, they answered that question for you pretty easily this year.
Yeah, I got lucky on not having to decide that.
It's just to
anymore.
think you could have traded him to me like 3 years ago, but no.
I would have no one now. I would have no quarterback.
You would just have Patrick Mahomes. That's all you would have.
No, you wanted Mahomes.
I wanted both of them. I wanted Mahomes more though.
Yeah.
All right, we got Jew Junior Hoo Max. Oh, sorry. Colt 45 Revolvers is 92.96, the second lowest for last week against Crab Legs to Go Bill 128.8. Not even close. Terrible week for Colt 45 Revolvers. Gonna have to kind of dissect that starting schedule as well, kind of see what happened to lead to such a low-scoring week for such a good team.
He would have won if he kept Austin Eckler.
Yeah, probably.
Oh no, definitely probably would have.
He actually started, pretty reasonable picks. Actually, Tom Brady only put up 11, and Sony Michel with -1. Pretty low. His none of his people scored this past week. His actual potential points was only 111. So if he would have done everything right, 111 would have been his score. And he actually had 8 points from his defense as well. So just the roster's not looking good, not being consistent at all either. Look for Colton to not have a very good year. Maybe a high draft pick.
Yeah, I mean, right now it looks as though that's possibly the way it's gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah, do we think Tom Brady starts doing this off and on thing, hot and cold?
No.
From here on out? You think he's going back to hot?
That was just a rainy, shitty game against a really good defense that knows him better than like anybody else in the league.
You're also talking to 2 Tampa Bay homers. So.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be fine.
It's awesome. I'm just going to let you guys know.
Yeah.
The Bucs schedule, great.
Yeah, we're kind of past the tough ones. Like, other than Buffalo. Like.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely thinking about getting tickets for that one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll be there, yeah.
You'll be there? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll start looking at tickets then.
Yeah, I think Fife has season tickets too.
Yeah, he's got season tickets.
Yeah.
So I do have an update on the record now that I've been searching around. Tom Foolery's 184-point game is actually only 14th all time.
Boom.
Yeah, I thought so.
What's number one? What was
corrected.
number one on that list? Just out of curiosity.
Let the Wookiee win from last year, 224 points.
Oh yeah, do you remember that week, Malcolm? Do you remember that week?
Very well.
And the worst part is I left like 18 points on the bench too.
I'm pretty sure I scored well.
Yeah.
That game. No chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, let the Wookiee win 3 of the top 6. Fly Society, 3 of the top 9. And Potent, 2 in the top 10. Colt 45 Revolvers also has 2 in the top 10. So it's the entire top 10 only consists of us 3 plus Colt 45 Revolvers.
Wow.
And both were scored last year by Colton. So no credit to Matt Gittelstad at all, just all Colton. Pretty crazy. I definitely would have thought that would have at least been top 10.
Yeah.
We've surprisingly scored 190 points 9 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, Malcolm and I have had some pretty good teams.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to start right into week 4 so we can finish up this recap. Not a very eventful game with me, 163 points, 163.8 to 120 if I Waken Baker. So yeah, that's not really close at all. He did have a couple chances late, but didn't really get play out of certain players. Just a kind of rough week for Rob going against 163 points, just in a normal week for me.
Oh yeah, just a normal week for you. Just a normal week.
No, by far my season high. Not even close. He did start Joe Burrow against me, which I did enjoy, and Joe Burrow had a pretty nice game. Of course, I just traded Joe Burrow to him for his first round pick next year.
Well, Logan Thomas got hurt, didn't he?
He did. He had 0 points.
Yeah, and then his Tyson Williams pick. I mean, they were talking about Le'Veon Bell the whole entire week leading up to that.
Yeah, not a good play there. He actually had options too. He had J.D. McKissick on his bench.
Yeah, what did he get? I mean, I don't think it would have covered.
14.5. Definitely would have covered. Just
43.
Yeah. He would not. His points possible was only. He had 149 points possible actually, but most of it was C.J. Uzomah.
Oh yeah.
Don't think anybody had a chance of starting him this week. Not when he had Logan Thomas.
Right.
Yeah. Moving right along, I think we were going right into the game of the week for Week 5, and also just kind of talking about Week 5 games. So let's just kind of run through the games real quick. We kind of talk about them briefly. We got Houghton versus Trumpelo Bills. It's me versus you, Nate. We got Fly Society versus Tomfoolery. Malcolm versus Tom. We got Let the Wookiee Win versus Suck My Balls, Mr. Garrison. And it's Chris versus Ricky. You got Valyrian Steelers, Eric versus Max, Juju, and your hoo-hoo. You got Rick Crack, It Hurts When I Flirt versus Colton, Colt 45 Revolvers. And then the final game is Waken Baker, who I just beat, Robert Fife versus Bill Crab Legs to go. What do you guys have? Anything to take away from these Week 5 games? Any big ones that stick out?
I mean, you two playing with division champs from last year with a rematch, so that'll be fun. That and I'm excited to play Ricky. That's another one. I don't know if no, yeah, I think I played Ricky before. Yeah.
Get some wins on the board. This league's a little too competitive this year.
Yeah, that is true. It's very competitive right now. It's what 9 2-2 teams, I think.
Yeah, I think Malcolm and Tom will be exciting. I know Malcolm's favored.
Malcolm's favored by a ton every week because
I mean,
it doesn't matter. Our team's too up and down right now.
I don't know if you guys follow this rule as well, but I look at projected points and I literally don't pay any attention to them.
No,
I don't know if you guys
not at
do
all.
that.
I just am curious what the computer thinks. I think it's funny from time to time, but it's never usually right at all. For whatever these projections, I just think are terrible on this platform. But
I mean, I've definitely set my lineup up in a completely asinine way just to kind of see what the projections change to, just kind of make people feel confident, and then change it on Sunday morning. So I have done that many times before, and it's always kind of shows me as the underdog, which I kind of enjoy.
Yeah, I actually did that a couple weeks ago to someone in another league and kept switching between three different running backs just to fake them out like 5 minutes before the game started.
I also am victim to that myself. If I see somebody changing out players, if I get the notification in my email, I'm always kind of looking at it and kind of wondering what change they made and if I should adjust based on that change. I'm a self-defined Ruxin in that category that I overthink. So definitely understand where people are coming from when they try to do it to me, and vice versa. I feel like I'm doing it to them as well.
Yeah, so what you guys do, what the other team does, is completely irrelevant to me. I can't control the other team. I can only control what my team is. I could care less what you guys do. I just don't care what you guys do. I'm putting who I think the best players are, and that's it.
All right. Well, what else are we talking about for week 5? Let's go right into game of the week.
Yeah.
All right. Well, game of the week, I think we just decided it's going to be me, the division winner last year, Potent, versus the division winner of the South, Trumpelo Bills. Currently, I'm favored by 7.4 points. That will change when Nate starts messing around with his lineup to make sure that he gets the advantage. So this next week, though, I mean, I definitely think it's nice. It's a nice look because we got two different quarterbacks, two powerhouse quarterbacks that either one I feel like could go off. But most likely or not, it's probably going to be Patrick Mahomes. So definitely just assume Patrick's going to score 40 points on me, which will probably make it, somewhere in the ballpark of 55 or something crazy like that. So, guess we'll see what that happens. What do you think, Nate?
I'm going to put Elijah Mitchell in right now. Maybe some Damian Williams because he's starting this week. I'm super excited to see that since he's been sitting on my bench for, like 9 actual football weeks and not played at all.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember the first podcast that we ever had, Nate, but I did mention how I thought Damian Williams was a sneaky pickup for you and brought attention to it that both my other co-hosts denied as just being, bullshit that they don't. Nobody thought it was a good decision to hold on to Damian Williams, that he had high potential.
Yeah, no, I mean when he stopped playing, he was still relevant, still decent. It wasn't like he got a career-ending injury or anything like that. So I stashed him and waited.
Yeah, I applauded you for that then, and I definitely think it paid off now. Yeah, I'm definitely a little afraid this week, although I am not afraid of your running backs, to say the least. Whatever you do at running backs doesn't scare me. You can start Damian Williams, Elijah Mitchell. I don't really care. Because I think your best running back, besides Aaron Jones when he actually plays well, is Damian Harris. And I haven't seen Damian Harris do anything to frighten me this year. So I'm sure it's coming, and this is not going to be a good week for me to go against Damian Harris going against the Texans. But I'm still not afraid of your running backs. However, I am afraid of Patrick Mahomes, and I'm definitely thinking that this could be a sneaky wide receiver week for you with DK Metcalf playing the Rams. I don't necessarily think Jalen Ramsey's going to play him up front, but I've seen the Rams not really play very well this year, to be honest with you, especially in their secondary. Let me look it up.
Ramsey likes to move around, so
they always move Jalen around, but yeah, they're 24th in passing. The Rams, Darius Williams and Jalen Ramsey. Yeah. Besides that, I think Calvin Ridley's due for a big game. I know my wife.
Wait a second. Hold on.
They play the Jets too, don't they?
Gone against like 2 of the best offenses in the NFL.
Yeah.
Who?
The Rams.
Oh yeah. What'd you say about them though?
They've gone against like 2 of the 4 best offenses in the NFL.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, I mean, yeah, I'm sure these stats are a little bit skewed. For sure.
Oh yeah, it's not. There's not. I mean, there's a big enough sample size to have an idea, but not like stats like that. It's hard to tell this early.
The Rams are also scoring fast too, and they're giving the ball back to the opponents quite often.
Yeah, how many did Tampa Bay put against them? Wasn't it pretty low, like 14 or something?
I think it was 24, 24, 27, somewhere in there.
That's true. I mean, for one of the best offenses, Tom Brady had 11 points against them last week. So, yeah, I think those numbers are pretty skewed by not a very good game against the Bucs. I mean, not a very good game before the Bucs. I mean, but yeah, the Jets actually are probably a little bit better of a passing team, but Calvin Ridley's due for a big week.
I hope so, because I have a lot of him in a lot of different leagues, and he's killing me.
Yeah. I put a lot of stake in him in a couple of leagues.
So I know there's a lot of talk about my Elijah Mitchell pick in the draft.
It's still a terrible. It's a terrible pick now. Now it's a terrible pick again.
Well,
just
okay.
So you know that. So I wasn't totally wrong.
Well, Sermon could become a dud. We don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's all about the play, Patrick.
We'll see.
So I'm in the draft. I'm in an airplane, Southwest Wi-Fi. I'm lagging, and there's only really 3 picks. I either go Etienne for the future, but I know I need help now at running back. So I'm looking at Mitchell, and I'm looking at Chuba Hubbard, and that would only work if McCaffrey got hurt, but it would also piss off Malcolm. So I considered it. And then there was Philip Lindsay, who I got later on anyway. So I took, I guess, the best rookie running back at the time that I could.
I mean, it paid out big week 1.
Yeah, that was about it.
You didn't start him week 1, though, unfortunately. So.
Yeah, I didn't listen to the Shefty advice. I don't know if you saw that.
Never doubt Shefty. Nah, yeah, I saw it.
I don't know how Shefty knew Mostert was going to get hurt, but he called it.
It's Adam Schefter. What do you mean you didn't know how he did?
Nate, are you worried about wide receiver, though? Just kind of looking at your wide receiver scoring as I was looking at next week. The most
I am.
the most you score from wide receiver any week is 20 points week 2 with Henry Ruggs. You've never scored more than 20 points. You've only scored 21 time.
And I didn't start Ruggs then either. So, Ridley hasn't been
I was gonna finish with that. So,
Yeah, exactly. So Ridley is underperforming. Metcalf is underperforming. Jarvis is injured. Callaway has been looking kind of decent these last 2 weeks, so I don't know. He might be a sneaky play in the future, but I don't think I'm going with him right now. Pittman has had a couple good weeks, so I don't know. There's definitely potential.
I like
Definitely
Edwards.
have some options.
We're getting a lot of value for Edwards soon.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Ruggs or Edwards, one of those guys has to start being the main person there.
No.
Because
It'll
Carr's
always be
throwing the
Darren
ball.
Waller. It'll always be
Well,
Darren
okay.
Waller.
Yeah, you're right, Craig. You're right. It's always going to be Waller. Yeah.
And our Hunter Renfro apparently.
Yeah, and Hunter Renfro's a baller.
One.
Yeah. So apparently,
One. I love how he can tackle. I think that's fantastic.
does Renfro have like the most targets or something? Didn't I see that stat?
Yeah, he has the most targets than any Raider.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, it's not the most targets. I gotta go back and look. Darren Waller had
maybe
like
it's
15 one game.
I think it might have been like last week or something he did.
Last 2 weeks, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember.
Hunter Renfro is on the block for a first-round pick next year, by the way, guys. I don't know if you guys
Oh, yeah.
You have?
I've had Hunter Renfro for 2 seasons.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. I tried to offer him for first-round pick at the start of the season, and people laughed at me. We'll see how.
Continue to laugh at you. What are you talking about?
All right, so moving in, we're going to do most disappointing players so far this year is what we said. I'm going to go ahead and just start with a tight end. I'm sure we have a tight end for right off the bat, I'm sure. I'm just going to throw some names out there, and you guys tell me what sticks. But Robert Tonyan was something that I thought of when I was thinking of tight ends.
Recently?
Yeah, recently in general, just this season, what we're talking about. But I mean, he did have a decent game last week.
George Kittle.
Yeah, George Kittle for
yeah.
sure. He's been
There's actually
quite terrible compared to where you thought he was going to be.
A lot of disappointing tight ends this year, a significant amount. Yeah.
George Kittle's the most though. George Kittle's the person everyone thought was going to be 1, 2, 3 easy, and he's what, 11? Yeah.
He's 11. He has 33 total points. He's never scored more than 13.
Yeah, that's.
That was last week, right?
Yeah.
What about Hawkinson? Hawkinson had a lot of promise.
Hawkinson is fifth in the league.
He's 5th right now.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
He's had his last 2 weeks. His last 2 weeks haven't been great, but he had 2 awesome weeks to start the season. So.
Yeah, and he's kind of fallen off since then.
It's been.
I know he had a big week 1.
It's been 2 weeks.
But I'm gonna throw somebody else at you guys, and it's probably somebody. Tonyan is probably my first choice. I'm probably gonna stick by that. Robert Tonyan only has 17 points for the entire year. Has scored 1 or less than 1.8 3 different times. Has scored 12 this past week.
Wow.
But anyway, I'm gonna throw somebody else out there. I think this guy had even more promise, and that's Austin Hooper. Total of 21 points for Austin Hooper this entire year.
Sounds about right.
Never scored more than 8.9.
He's not a starter though.
Yeah.
Like in our league.
Yeah.
So he's not that disappointing.
Yeah. He hasn't disappointed anybody on Malcolm's bench.
That's fair.
What about Kyle Pitts? I know I mentioned him earlier.
Oh yeah, he's
yeah. I believe Kyle Pitts has started every game too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, he's the 3rd pick of the draft, I would assume.
He has started
I don't think he has anybody else.
Yeah, he started every single game, 26 points.
I think that offense is just deteriorating. I think Ridley needs to go to a better team.
Or they need to upgrade at quarterback.
Or that.
I think it's going to shift it back to Tonyan, though. Max has started Tonyan every single game as well for a total of 17 points.
Yeah,
what's his option?
That's rough.
What's the other tight end option?
I don't know. I mean, just seeing 17 points as I look at the stats. I got to go back and look at a whole nother thing. Let's see. Juju and my hoo-hoo.
Still, either way, 17 points is rough over 4 weeks. Out of a starter.
This is going to make you guys feel no sympathy for Max whatsoever. He does have David. Yeah, he has David Njoku, Eric Ebron, and Dawson Knox, who has 46 points. Has started Dawson Knox 1 time last week and got 18 points from him.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. All right, so I think we can agree that it's probably going to be Tonyan, possibly Kyle Pitts. We can just do 1 and 2 for both of them.
And Kittle.
Wide receiver. Most disappointing wide receivers.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Calvin Ridley's definitely up there.
I think CeeDee Lamb's underperformed from where people thought he was going to be.
CeeDee Lamb is 30 in our points for scored, and Calvin Ridley's 26.
Yeah. Maybe I just expected more, and that's
It definitely did.
And look, Marvin Jones has more than CeeDee Lamb at this point.
Yeah.
For real. Somebody else that people really aren't talking about, but I know we hyped this guy up quite a bit.
I mean, Robert Woods is one of them so far.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure. Devonta Smith has the same amount of points as Robert Woods.
Yeah.
Jalen Waddle's 45.
Yeah, but that feels right.
I think rookies, though, you've got to give a pass more than,
Yeah.
like, established players.
Like Cortland
I gotta give him
Cortland
that.
Sutton at 48 is still disappointing.
And
I like
the Tua effect. I mean,
Yo,
Tua's his boy, so
Yeah, and since
What about
Tua's been gone,
Laviska
he hasn't done
Shenault?
anything. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
it's
these
got to be
are
Allen
31
Robinson.
points.
What are we doing?
Yeah, it's got to be Allen Robinson.
Oh yeah, it's Allen Robinson.
It just came to me.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
because
it's Allen
he's
Robinson.
not even in the top, 65?
No, he's not. He's on the top 65.
Jesus.
That's insane.
Yeah.
All right, Allen Robinson and nobody else. You're right.
Yeah, it's not even close. But
All right, running backs.
I do have 3 top 10 receivers.
Yes, you do.
But I don't think Cordero Patterson should count, but that's a different story.
So most disappointing running back. That's clearly Elijah Mitchell, right?
No.
I'm
Oh,
kidding.
hold on. What? Wait. Receivers. What about AJ Brown?
Oh yeah.
He's been
Not
injured.
bad.
I don't really want to say he's been a
True.
disappointment because he hasn't got a chance to play.
Yeah, injuries kind of change things.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to running backs.
Well, running back, I definitely feel strongly about this one. I thought this one was pretty easy, honestly. Considering I traded a first-round pick for him last year, Ronald Jones, 13.1 points.
Well, yeah, just because you traded the first round pick for him doesn't mean the rest of us would have.
I'm just feeling really disappointed. I mean,
Yeah, I bet you are. Just like I was disappointed in Kenyon Drake. Yeah, I did the same thing for. But like, I think Mike Davis is probably one of them. I'm assuming you thought you were getting a lot more out of Mike Davis when he was the starter.
Is Mike
Yeah.
Davis underperforming that much?
I mean, he's 31. He's ranked 31. 37
Yeah.
points. Hasn't scored over 10 points this season.
I mean, to be completely honest, I think all my running backs are disappointing besides Zeke. So
Yeah, but
you know.
both years have the injury issue though,
Yeah.
so I don't really want to. You know what I mean?
Miles Gaskins. Ricky
Yeah, I
mentioned
think-
that to me earlier.
Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Yeah, Miles Sanders, I feel like is always a disappointment though, so that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. He doesn't get the ball though. He got like 8
Yeah.
carries the game. He had like 100 yards. They don't give him the ball.
Do you think Nick Chubb owners are upset that Kareem Hunt has more points than him?
No, because Nick Chubb is still getting his own too.
Yeah, I
He's
know.
number
Are
9.
you upset about it?
I mean, a little bit, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty flabbergasted that Ezekiel's number 4.
I'm not.
He's been cooking the last couple
Yeah,
weeks.
well,
I know
it's
he's
because
done well the past couple
it's
weeks,
because
but
all you've really seen of him was Tampa, and Tampa shuts down
Yeah.
every running back, and then he's just kind of been pretty awesome since then.
Yeah, and every fantasy expert has been saying that too. I mean, after week 1, they play the best rushing defense, and then
Yeah.
just wait to pop off. So
Wow. Yeah, I don't know who you guys
He's
agree
on the
with. but
block if someone wants to trade for him, though.
Do we have an answer for most disappointing running back?
I like Miles Gaskins. I thought he was going to be.
Miles Sanders, you mean? Or Miles
I like
Gaskin?
both, I mean,
I think they're both disappointing as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
All right, we can go right into quarterback, and I got a great one for quarterback. I'm gonna go with Tua.
Yeah.
I
he's
know
been injured though.
I know. he's
Yeah,
injured.
yeah.
No, it's got to be Trevor Lawrence, right?
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence has been pretty awful. I mean,
Tannehill.
yeah, Tannehill's been pretty sad.
Tannehill's actually doing 4 spots better than Trevor Lawrence and hasn't thrown the ball even like half of the times that Trevor Lawrence has. I mean, actually, Tannehill got a lot of throws last week, 49. But Trevor Lawrence is consistently averaging, he had 50 week 1. They actually slowed him down quite a bit. I don't know. You're probably right. Both of those are pretty disappointing. But I have not started Tannehill at all. Not a single week.
Yeah.
I mean, the most disappointing, or I guess the saddest one to watch right now is Ben Roethlisberger. He's just not good at all anymore.
Yeah,
I love how Tom tried to trade him to me, my dad, and I think Bill the entire summer, and every time I'm like, he's gonna drop him. There's no way he can hold on to him the whole year.
What about Carson Wentz?
I don't think anybody's starting him. Your dad started him a couple games, right?
Yeah, he's been starting Bridgewater, I think.
Yeah, I think he started Bridgewater almost all. No, he started Carson Wentz week 1 and Bridgewater ever since.
That makes sense. I mean,
yeah, I think it's gotta be.
Your week 1 messes it up, but Aaron Rodgers at 18 is kind of funny. But 1 point in week 1 deflates that he's been awesome the other 3 weeks.
Yeah, I was still able to win week 1 too. So
yeah, that's
somehow.
insane.
Besides last week, you got Matt Ryan.
I didn't start Matt Ryan last week. I just picked him up.
Well, no, I'm saying besides last week, he's been awful.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, but, I mean, I've had Matt Ryan for 2 years, and I knew that was going to happen. Although, hell, he scored 37 points last week. Somehow.
Pretty surprised to see that Kirk Cousins was number 11 and Jalen Hurts is actually number 4.
Yeah, the Jalen Hurts thing doesn't really surprise me. He just runs so... Jalen Hurts is good, man.
It's surprisingly not from as many rushing yards as you would think, or even rushing touchdowns. He only has about 230 yards rushing and 1 touchdown. I know 230 yards rushing is quite a bit. I'm not deflating that. I'm just saying as far as being scoring, he's actually throwing for.
I mean, if you take away the rushing, he's not even in the top 20.
No, he definitely is. No, not from passing touchdowns. Yeah, he's got.
I'm saying if you take away the rushing, that's what I mean. That's why.
I mean, compared to Tom Brady, who has 10 passing touchdowns this year, Jalen Hurts has 7 passing touchdowns this year.
There's no way the yards are even close, though.
They are. They're actually quite close. They're not as close as I was just making it sound. Actually, probably about 400 yards off.
Yeah, that's like a whole week.
Yeah, you're right.
And
all right. It's just because of 1 week, though. Kyler Murray and Patrick Mahomes are on a different level, regardless.
Those two are. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we did not come up with a person that I remember exactly, but I'm kind of standing by Trevor Lawrence. I don't think that anybody's actually starting any of these quarterbacks besides Colton, who has started Trevor Lawrence a few times. And if you go off just total points, probably me with Aaron Rodgers. But that's the only
Big Ben.
Has anybody started Big Ben?
I
don't think so. I think Trevor Lawrence has probably been the most disappointing.
Yeah, I don't think we can really. Nobody else is starting.
No, Tom has not started Big Ben, and you did not. So
Big Ben got dropped 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and you picked him up. You didn't start him.
I started Big Ben. I didn't start him. Just picked him up. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we can jump right into power rankings because we got killed a lot of time on all those first topics. Let me go right down the list and just talk about them briefly. I know I got the list written down. We kind of went over this ahead of time, but I'll just jump right into it. Number 12, and this is Juju in your hoo-hoo. Nope, it's not. It hurts when I've heard who's 0-4. It's Juju in your hoo-hoo, who is Max Rudy. Why do we pick Max, guys?
Got score.
Yeah. He just I can't find where it is. What does he average in a week?
He averages 113 per week.
Yeah,
it is the second lowest in the league.
Yeah, that's not going to get it done.
His highest point total is 139, which is actually only the 5th lowest.
Well, that's not bad, but I know he's. I mean, the last 2 weeks he's been under 112, so it's just gonna be
Yes.
hard. It's gonna be hard to win scoring that. You got to be at least over 130 to get to the playoffs. I feel like in this league.
Yeah, I don't think he has a stud running back either.
No, I
Devin
mean
There's nobody there that jumps out at me.
maybe one of the Buffalo guys, but right now I think it looks like Zach Moss, but it might be Devin Singletary in a couple weeks. So
Yeah, I think he believes it's Darrell Henderson, but
yeah, Daryl Henderson is or Darrell.
could.
Yeah, he's the best one he's got by far. But like once again, when you're when you have to beat like Malcolm's lineup of three, my lineup of three, freaking Fife's got Saquon and Chubb. Like yeah, you got Daryl Henderson's not gonna get it done most of the time. Like
Yeah, and he's got to play against Seattle, Arizona, and
true.
what's the other one?
49ers.
The 49ers. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to play against them twice a year, so you can't. They all have good defenses.
I don't think anything's gonna slow down that offense though. Personally, it's too good.
Yeah, passing wise, I don't think so at all.
Yeah, I just think in general, the pass is that successful run game's gonna work too.
yeah, Max does have a pretty okay schedule, nothing crazy. Does play Tom twice. Plays Colt 45 once. Plays you twice, Nate, and plays Robert Fife twice. Not sure how that worked out, but he also plays both of you, Malcolm and Chris as well once. So he does have an interesting schedule for the next 8 weeks. Does play some pretty high-scoring teams, teams that have high-scoring potential, and doesn't really score very consistently over 112.
Yep.
All right. Well, moving along, moving with number 11 as Colt 45 Revolvers, another 2-2 team in the bottom of our power rankings instead of the 0-4 it hurts when I hurt. But let's talk about Colton's team. He is the lowest scoring team in the league with an average of 110 points per game. The highest point total he's had this year is fourth lowest with 135.
Seems it's not performing. It's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't strike any fear.
No, not one bit. Not at 110. I mean, I think I've probably only had 3 games in the last 2 years under 110. So, I'm not really afraid of 110.
He's had 2 games 93 and under.
Yeah.
Jeez, I wish I played Colton already.
I wish I got to play him twice a year, Nate.
All right. Well, looking at the team real quick, I know I was looking at that while you guys were talking about his team, but not a bad team. Actually, is getting really good points from James Robinson. Something I didn't really anticipate for a low-scoring team itself. But he's got the number 4 quarterback. He's got the number 7 running back and the number 9 running back, but doesn't really have much at wide receiver. His best wide receiver is Mike Evans, who is a little underwhelming this year, but has 51 points. The biggest problem with him, actually, as crazy as it sounds, is that he's not getting any points out of his kicker or his tight end.
Yeah.
Noah Fant, not doing terrible.
I mean, this
36 points.
And he had J.K. Dobbins get hurt at the beginning of the year. He traded Austin Eckler. I mean, this team could be a lot better than it is. It's just not.
He's also started our most disappointing wide receiver all 4 weeks in Allen Robinson.
Oh, he can't win for that.
Yeah.
No blame there from that at all.
Yeah, you got to start Allen Robinson. It sucks because he's probably going to have to start him again, and right now I don't see him getting any better. I mean, eventually he will. Justin Fields is not going to – I don't think he's going to get worse. So.
Yeah, he looked better last week. Well, that leads us right along to our actual 0-4 team, coming in at number 10, and that's It Hurts When I Hurt, Rick Crack, our Season 1 champion. Not doing as bad as he should be based on his record. Scoring a 125.7 a game and sealing a high total of 142.
Yeah, and we were talking about this earlier. He's 0-4, last in our division, and would have the third highest points total in the other division. Almost
Yep.
second.
Took some really tough losses. Lost to Malcolm by 9 points when Malcolm scored 151. And then just recently lost to Bill week 3 by 4 points, scoring 124. And then just lost last week to Max, scoring 112.
And lost that one
Really,
by
he's only been blown
4.
out once. What's
Yeah,
that?
and he lost that one by 4.
Yeah,
So,
lost that
yeah.
one by 4. The only person that's blown him out was Eric week 1 when Eric scored 150.
Eric's greatest week ever.
Yeah, I don't think your dad is going to improve much from number 10, unfortunately. And I don't think his team's really built for this season, but I
No.
think he's definitely built for the future.
Yeah.
And he's having injuries at all the wrong times. I think Chris Carson getting hurt definitely put a damper into that because Alex Collins got the ball a lot last week. So
That was weird.
yeah, it was an odd situation, but he's getting huge play out of certain players. Like Terry McLaurin still looks like one of the best wide receivers in the league.
Oh, yeah.
And Darren Waller looks like he's going to end up being the number 1 tight end this year.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance that's going to happen.
I don't see anything wrong with his team. I just know that his quarterback situation is really chaotic right now. Taylor Heineke is his best quarterback by far.
Well, and his team looks great for the future compared to those other teams that don't look that great for the future. Because like Etienne's hurt, Cam Akers is hurt, Van Jefferson.
Javonte Williams is a rookie, and he's starting to bust out more and more every game.
Van Jefferson's starting to look good. Like Chris Godwin is, going to be good for a while. Jalen Waddle's, it's there. Like, yeah, I mean, there's a lot to like about that team.
I totally agree.
I think next year he gets back up into the
in the playoffs again. Because I don't think he's been
playoff in consideration. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think he's been in the playoffs since year 1. Yeah, it is a tough division. It's a very tough division.
The toughest division of all time in any league we've ever seen.
Easily. I mean, the championship comes through our division.
Doesn't have the hardest schedule based on the division he's in, but it doesn't look good for him in the future. He does have me twice. He's
got all of us
Steelers.
Twice. He's got me twice. He's got Malcolm twice. He's got Bill twice.
He's already played you guys. He has me twice in the next upcoming games. He has you once. He has Malcolm once. And he has Bill once, Colton once, and Eric once, and Robert Fife once. But yeah, he does. Yeah, he plays you twice, actually. He plays us twice, both, Chris, in his next 8 games. So yeah, I don't see him making the playoffs this year. I think he could easily go 2-2 with playing both of us twice, but it's not going to be enough to bring him back in it. Just playing us twice alone probably gets rid of any chance of him making the playoffs.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving right along, that's Bill at number 9, and we got Crab Legs to go, who I'm still offended by. I still have strong feelings about that team name.
I love this team name. I love his team logo too. It's other than Ricky's, that's my favorite team logo. Is this one?
Yeah, Ricky's is pretty awesome. Crab Legs to go is averaging 121 points per game. That is the fourth lowest, just barely squeaking in at number 4 over Robert Fife's team. It has a high total of 128. 2-2 as well, like everybody else in the South, as well as him and you and Malcolm in the North.
Yeah, hold on. I've got Trump's head on a Buffalo Bills logo.
Yeah, we know.
That's not the best logo in the league?
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Sorry, man. It really sucks. I think I prefer the Cookie Monster helmet of Max more than that one.
Yeah, I really like the Cookie Monster helmet too.
I like how Tom has never changed his logo from whatever the hell this is up here. I know it's like some sort of soccer cup. Doesn't appear to be the World Cup that Pat Roth created back in season 1.
Yeah.
Still the exact same one. Or Chris Donoff, sorry.
Yeah, but Bill's team is probably one of my favorite teams for the future. I was talking about earlier. It's like every pick that I doubted this year is starting to be like, well, shit, maybe those guys are gonna be all right.
Yeah, Daniel Jones as a backup quarterback is looking phenomenal.
Yeah, especially knowing that you only have to play him once a year, and that's it. That's great.
Yeah, I was never a fan of Clyde Edwards-Helaire either, but I'm starting to become a fan this year.
Yeah, I'm
And
starting to turn the
you
corner
guys know
there.
how I feel about. I am podcast verified of being a Michael Carter fan, and I think the future is going to be very bright for that young guy.
Yeah, they finally realized they're like, why are we wasting our time with Tevin Coleman and Ty Montgomery? Like, what are we doing? Like,
Didn't
First
take a
touchdown
whole
last week.
yeah, he did.
first touchdown off 13 carries last week.
Well,
He went 4, 11, 9, and 13. Just finally got 13 carries for the first time.
Yeah.
Scored a touchdown.
Kenneth Gainwell's getting a lot of work in Philly, way more than I would have ever thought.
Kenneth Gainwell looks awesome.
Yeah,
He's going to use the passing game a lot.
Yeah.
I like Larry Roundtree too. I think he's got young running backs that are. I'm envious of his young running backs.
He just has to worry about Cam Akers coming back with Larry Roundtree. But
yeah, I'd be worried about that too, but not Cam Akers. That's Austin Eckler.
Oh shit! Yeah. Wrong team. My bad.
I'm salivating right now with all these young running backs.
Yeah, I bet you are.
I don't dislike that team. It just says a lot about our league and the parity this year.
Yeah.
That we actually have a team at number 9 that we all pretty much like and see a lot and holding in the future, but it's just not there right now, so it's not ranked in our top 8.
Team MVP for him right now is Mike Williams, though. Other than Kyler, obviously Kyler.
Wait, yeah, what?
Mike Williams is on the blue team.
He's on Bill's team.
He's on Bill's team.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, because you traded him to me, and then I traded him to Bill.
Well, Mike Williams scored 1.6 last night.
Well, but he was really awesome the first 3 weeks.
Monday night. I do think that's the biggest weakness that he has is wide receiver. But Tyler Boyd looks like he's going to make him feel like that doesn't exist. And Kendrick Bourne is having a nice year.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's enough about crab legs to go. It brings us to number 8. And this might be one of the lowest we've seen this guy in a while. He's the former division champion from last year, constantly in the top 5. Didn't really score a whole lot last year to become division champion. I'm just going to throw that in there. Throw a little bit of shade. But this year, only scoring an average of looks like 123.2, which is the 6th lowest. And you have 125 as your ceiling for the entire season.
Woohoo! Middle of the pack. That's what I'm talking about.
Just
not transitioning far away from that 123 range. It's about where you sit every week.
Yeah.
Look, Calvin Ridley, DK Metcalf, these guys start popping off. This team's going to get a lot better. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and Aaron Jones has to score enough points for 2 running backs. And then you
very true. Didn't he do that in week 2? I think he did.
At least you'll, yeah, for real though. At least you'll have Damian Williams this week. That'd be nice. Maybe a couple other weeks, but definitely this week.
Yeah, your quarterback is 14 points above the second place for most points of every player in this entire league, with 139.9. Yeah, of course that's Deshaun Watson, as we all know. Moving right along. Robert Fife at number 7.
Still like this team.
Yeah, 124 points is his ceiling total for the year. We also got an average of 121.5, which is the 3rd lowest in the entire league. It is 2-2, but had 571 points scored on him. The only person that can even know what that's like is let the rookie win.
Yep. It's not good.
I do think there might be some potential points left on the board, though. Every week he leaves about 30 points on the board. Points possible are about 30 points higher every single week.
Yeah, I'm having an issue with the points possible right now, too. I forget what I have, but it's something stupid. My bench points. Yeah, 424 bench points right now. Leading the league by a good margin. So, yeah, I feel his pain there.
I just think at some
the
point,
least efficient team in the league. Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
Chris.
Well, and last year I was sitting at like above 95% for the whole year. But I also was at the top of the division for the whole year until like the last 2 weeks. But
yeah, I don't see where he's leaving the points on the board either, with the exception of just not learning to start JD McKissick. I feel like you just need to start him every week if you're him, and he hasn't started in 1 week.
I mean, Crowder coming back, you can look for possible points there, but man, it hasn't happened yet. So
and if Mostert comes back and stays healthy, like yeah, that could help out a lot too.
Yeah, I don't see him starting. I don't see him starting Crowder 1 game. I think he's going to start Tim Patrick probably for the rest of the year, and I think he'll probably consistently keep starting DJ Chark way before he tries to put in Crowder back in.
Well,
DJ Chark is
DJ
done for the
Chark,
year. What
yeah,
are we
DJ
talking
Chark
about?
broke his leg, and I don't think he's going to be
Yeah.
playing anymore this year.
Don't you live in
Forgot
Jacksonville?
about that.
Well, I mean, no, for me, his receivers are Jamar Chase, Amari Cooper, Stephon Diggs, probably Tim Patrick. You're
Tim
playing,
Patrick. Yeah.
you're playing those four every week for sure.
Start Crowder.
Yeah, that would be my consideration probably every week would be those two.
He's another injury away from being a team that's really in trouble though.
Yeah,
He's
especially if he takes one at running back like last year when he had Saquon and Chubb out. That's why he picked it too this year.
Yeah, I think he's one big injury away from being a bottom team this year, unfortunately, and I feel great about that having his number 1 pick. Really hoping that one pans out. My prediction's right there.
Yeah, I don't. I hope he has a great year. Makes it to the playoffs.
Well, that takes us to number 6. Now, this one's a little surprising, I'm sure, because he's got one of the best records in the league, and that's Eric with Valyrian Steelers, who we consistently ranked 12th last season, right?
Yeah, I think the whole
Really?
year. Whole year, I think he was at 12.
Well, let's look at him real quick. I know we definitely just talked about his big week 1 with 150 points, almost 150 points. But he's been pretty consistently decent all year long. 117 week 2. Week 3, he scored 110 and got blown out by me. And then only scored 111 this past week, but was able to pull out a win because of it. With only playing Ricky only scored 75 points. So he's had some pretty lucky weeks where guys have underperformed. Because every week that he's played somebody other than me, he has kind of ran into somebody having one of their lowest weeks possible.
Ooh, and then he plays,
Must be nice.
and he plays our number 12th ranked team in the power rankings this week.
He sure does. He also plays him again in week 8.
Yeah, and then he plays me in week 6. So
He does have you and Malcolm in the next two weeks as well, or next 3 weeks. So I don't think he's going to be able to continue any sort of streak at all with 3-1 schedule, 3-1 record that he has now. But his schedule is not bad. He does play both of you and then plays me again in week 12.
so there's 5 losses.
What's that?
So there's 5 losses.
Yeah, I don't see him finishing in the bottom 2 of our division, though. I think he finishes above Bill and Rick.
I think he finished above my dad, maybe not Bill though. Like I said, Kyler Murray's going to win him at least 3 or 4 more weeks on his own.
That's fair. You think he makes the playoffs next year?
If he drafts well next year, yes.
So he's not going to get a top draft pick again. He's kind of already ruined that one, I think.
I think
No, he's still be like top 4.
He still gets top 4.
Yeah, he gets so. I mean, worst case scenario, he's picking top 6.
Does your dad really want to not come and get the first round pick now, or get the first pick?
I don't know. I don't know if I'd ever want the first pick. I feel like I've had plenty of success picking between 8 and 12. I don't need to be anywhere up there.
That's you. I mean, I feel like if you start out 0-4, I think you're at least hoping you're going to get the first pick.
Yeah. Or you can at least use that first pick to get something else.
I don't even know who the first pick would be, though.
Yeah, right now I have no idea who it is. Like, I don't know if I would want the first pick next year, because right now I have no idea who it would be. We at least had a couple ideas last year who it was going to be. I don't have a
Yeah.
clue.
Well, that brings us to number 5, and that is tomfoolery. 184.3 was the big week last week. Huge, huge week. Hasn't done that ever before, like we talked about before on the podcast.
Yeah.
Tomfoolery, 137.2 is the average. Now it's the average, and that is the 4th highest, just barely the 4th highest. Chris, you edge him out by 0.3.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, a lot of that's obviously weighted with the 184 this week. When we got 4, it's going to pull his average up a lot.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to continue it all year long. But I do think he's got the base just with those 3 running backs. We talked about Austin Eckler earlier.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Eckler, Joe Mixon, and Jonathan Taylor. And that's if David Montgomery's hurt. He's got 4 running backs now.
Yep.
Like 4.
Yeah, when Montgomery comes back, he's also had A.J. Brown out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he comes back in. That's going to be. It'll definitely cover Montgomery's points, hopefully.
Well, I'll put it to you this way: Tom's not going to be picking in the top 4 again for a while. I at least think that, because he's been down there. He's been down there consistently.
You don't think he's going to get a pick with any of these trades?
Isn't he giving away his picks?
I don't think so.
Oh, I know he's not going to complete any trades with me, most likely. Him and I are not on the same page as players. I don't think he's on the same page with my dad either. But
Tom has every one of his picks and has no additional picks.
He doesn't have anybody else's picks. He just has his own.
Correct. He only has.
Gotcha.
Lucas, your mic is cutting out.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty bad.
So we were at what? Tom was what at 5? We can keep going without Lucas.
Yeah, I agree.
Better?
So then,
Yes, much
Yeah.
better.
All right. Yeah, Tom is 5. I was just thinking if we had any additional comments about him before we moved on. First time in his top 5 ever.
yeah, he's going to be in the playoffs, and he's a team that I hope doesn't get hot at that time because that team's got a lot of firepower. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. Well, that takes us to number 4, and that's Suck My Balls, Mr. Garrison. That's Ricky, despite a horrible week last week with only scoring 74 points. A historically bad week. We pick him. Why do we pick Ricky?
He's put up a decent amount of points so far this year, other than last week. I mean, people have bad weeks. I get it, but like that's awfully bad. But the only thing with Ricky that concerns me with him is he's only having 109 points scored against him right now. Like, there's no way that's going to continue. I think the next lowest is 120. Or Eric's got 114, but after that, no one else is under 120. So I mean, he's getting at least a touchdown and a half advantage over everybody right now because people just aren't scoring against him for some reason.
Yeah, I think he's got some promise, mainly in his receivers. Cooper Kupp, Jacoby Myers, Adam Thielen. Claypool, I haven't seen had a huge game yet, but he's due for one.
Yeah, and then when Judy comes back, he's going to be... I mean, Denver actually looks like they're pretty good all around right now once Teddy comes back, but...
And Kittle's got to get better, right, at some point?
Yeah. Well, Cooper Kupp, all his targets are going to start going to Robert Woods, so...
I mean, he's definitely got running backs that we've talked about before that are underperforming. Miles Sanders,
Myles Gaskin. I mean,
Yeah.
Jamal Williams he's a nice guy to have for a week, like a fill-in week, but he's kind of a guy that he's been relying on, I think. So that's,
Yeah.
I mean, if Trey Sermon can take off, yeah, that'd be nice. And then Chase Edmonds is he is what he is. He's gonna stay about what he's been doing. He's gonna have some big weeks, but he's gonna stay. He's still gonna be useful. He's not going to lose you most weeks. I think this team's got a lot of people that aren't going to lose you a week, but not a lot of people that are going to win you a week.
Yeah, Edmonds has at least 10 points in every game.
Yeah, that's what I
The
mean.
most being 15. So
Yeah. 10 to 15 is going to keep you in the game, but is it going to win you all of them? I don't know.
Something to note that Ricky has 2 players that we announced as the top most disappointing people for their position in George Kittle and Myles Gaskin.
Yep.
Or Miles Sanders, whichever Miles you prefer.
Yep.
But he's not scoring that terribly.
No, he's at least
not.
scoring points. He's just nobody's scoring against him, so he's not really struggling to get
That's the
wins.
Cooper Kupp effect, right? Consistently getting points from Cooper Kupp every week.
Yeah, like big points. Other than last week, they were kind of down, but
yeah, Cooper Kupp has 46 targets through 4 games. That's insane. Well, that'll take us to number 3, and this might be a new low for this user. That's number 3 is Fly Society. Do we get this right?
Yeah, this team's not performing. I could be lower.
I love that there's always so much positivity coming out of Fly Society, no matter what. Even during the undefeated season, it was always, I don't know, man. It's got.
Listen, we've set a high standard. We know what this team should be executing at. It's not doing that. So this is where we're at.
Well,
You are what your record is.
It did execute well enough week 3. So
this is how Malcolm talks when he's second highest average total in the entire league with 138.4. We were bashing guys here for not scoring 120, and you're over here scoring 138.4. And you're 2-2. Granted, you had a pretty rough week last week, but you have still scored 160 points this season, and you're talking as though this team's not cutting it.
I have Mike Davis scoring just as many points as Dalvin Cook. Yeah.
Time for a changing of the guards. Time to get back and figure out who your running backs are going to be, because it's clearly not going to be Dalvin Cook or Christian McCaffrey. You should probably trade them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Malcolm, what's your plan with the receivers here?
how upset about Brandon Ayuk's usage are you?
Speaking of disappointing, yeah, I was really counting on him to step up. Now,
Yeah, I was
Brandon
really
Cooks is
afraid
not
of him.
talent,
Yeah, Brandon Cooks.
I'm kind of shocked that Odell isn't doing anything with Landry out.
Well,
I mean-
fucking Baker Mayfield could throw the ball to him. It would be great.
And then Robbie
Jesus.
Anderson hasn't
Yeah.
really popped like he did last year either.
Yeah.
I think we forgot him for most disappointing player for wide
Yeah,
receiver.
he could
Robbie.
be in there.
You got a lot of
You
you got a lot of consideration on here, and T.Y. Hilton's still on your team, which I think's fun. Is he
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Is he just a placeholder there for when you have to reactivate Michael Thomas? So you just switch those two out.
T.Y. Hilton at the end of last year was a baller.
Yeah, no, you're
So-
right. He was, but he's not currently because he's not playing.
Well, yeah.
Can you trade T.Y. Hilton for Jake Funk just to kind of mix things up for us?
Let's do it.
No, to be honest, though, my whole team's been pretty disappointing this year. Besides, I don't know.
It's underperformed from what it did 2 years ago, yeah, but I mean it's still a tough team to beat.
I mean, I think Ezekiel Elliott has been phenomenally better than I thought he'd be after week 1.
He's been a highlight for sure.
Yeah, he's
Him and, like I said, Brandon Cooks. That's about it.
yeah.
Brandon Cooks looks awesome.
And now you've got Chenault, the number 1 receiver in Jacksonville.
That is
Oh,
true.
shit. Well, that takes us to number 2, and this person's no surprise to being in the top 2. Let the Wookiee win at number 2. That's you, Chris. You're averaging 100. Oh man, I'm in the wrong spot. You are averaging 137.5 points per game.
Yeah. Name of the game for me is consistency, though. 149, 144, then that shitty 106 against Malcolm, and then 150. So I'm staying. I'm assuming I'm most of the time going to be between 135, 145, and that'll get me to the playoffs. I just got to be good when I get there. It's got to be good when we get there.
Something interesting as we run through this power rankings, I've looked at every team and who they started. You've started a different quarterback every single week.
That's how we do it over here, man. I've been doing that for like 3 years.
You did start Tua scoring 106 that week, but ended up beating me anyway. Not 106. You ended up playing me that week, and you ended up winning due to Derrick Henry just losing his mind.
Yeah, Derrick Henry does that from time to time. Malcolm knows.
He's
And
a
you
god.
still have that 95% efficiency there?
That was last year. This year, it's
okay.
absolutely terrible. This year, it's at my
Yeah, your
efficiency's
potential
awful
that
right
week that
now.
you beat me. The potential the week you beat me was 191 points.
Yeah, I know.
208 last week.
Yeah, I know.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's been
yeah.
It's been frustrating and made some bad decisions.
I don't think you made any bad decisions. Looking at it now, I don't think you could have predicted a 32-point game for Cordarrelle Patterson last week, but
No, yeah,
I guess
that's
you
one of
probably
those.
should have.
That
Guess you
does
probably should have.
that doesn't stuff like that doesn't bother me because I was never even considering that. But now I'm gonna have to. Just because the
Yeah,
bottom, my bottom receiver or two, Julio Jones and Cortland Sutton. It's one of those. It's frustrating
Probably
choice
is.
at the moment.
we also
Are you
need to discuss
considering-
that.
Are you considering
Sorry, go ahead.
benching Tyler Lockett for him?
No, not yet. Tyler Lockett's one of those when you bench him, it's gonna happen. You just gotta leave him in and take the lumps. Just gotta take
It's true, but he's done this. He's done this what 2 years in a row now, where he starts hot and then falls off during the middle of the season.
Yeah, I mean it's week 4 though, or week 5. I don't overreact too quickly.
Okay.
I think we need to change Cordarrelle Patterson's position to running back anyway. He gets more carries than he does receptions.
Yeah, he's not a receiver at all.
Or be able to play both.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
should. He actually should be like a flex.
Well, I don't know if that's an option that's available on my fantasy league, but either way, he needs to be changed to make him usable for both, if possible, and if not for running back.
I'll look into it.
Yeah, I was
Alright.
happy to see Kadarius Toney and Amon-Ra St. Brown finally do something though.
Yeah, I don't see the Kadarius Toney doing much more than last week, but Darius Slayton got hurt and somebody else got hurt too, right?
Yeah, they got
Giants?
they got a bunch of people.
Yeah, I think Shepard was
and
out
issues
too,
up
wasn't he?
there. Yeah.
Shepard, yeah. Solid week last week though. Definitely gives you some promise after probably thinking that was a horrible draft pick. I know you
Yeah.
drafted him in the second, so
Third,
not a whole lot of
third round. Third round.
Drafted him in the third round.
Yeah, I didn't pick him the first 2 rounds.
Huh. Interesting. That's definitely later than I would have guessed.
Yep.
All right. Well, that leaves number 1. Not a lot to say about that, but also no stranger to number 1. I think I was there last year a couple times, and then Malcolm still beat me anyway.
No stranger to number 1.
No stranger.
I'm just gonna say I haven't been a stranger to number 1, but I also lost anyway, regardless of being good last year. So
Guy's first
Yeah.
twice, and now he thinks he's here all the time.
and, I'd like to play with the big boys. I just can't actually walk away with the winnings that I hope for.
You know what's crazy? I was talking to Natalie, and I was like, "Listen, because Shay, my second, is 2, so he just thinks that trophy is just a part of our house. He doesn't know anything different, right?" And then I was just like, "But poor little Winter, she has no idea that trophy even exists."
She has no clue. She would love to touch that trophy too. I'm sure she would try to pick it up and take it around and probably ruin it, to be honest with you. But yeah, you're absolutely right. She has no idea. Winter has never stepped foot in your house and would have no idea that it actually belongs in my house. But it is what it is.
Well, I'll make sure your kids' grubby little hands stay off our beautiful trophy.
Oh man. Yeah, but just one more, humble brag over here for my team. I definitely think that I'm probably not going to be going away anytime soon because my best players this year are young as hell. DJ Moore and Debo Samuel, that's my future. And I'm feeling pretty good about it. And I also picked up Dalton Schultz last week, and I definitely like that pickup.
Did you spend on him?
I don't know, like $5, I think.
Not enough.
Are you gonna be rolling him out that often?
I mean, I'm probably going to trade him, to be honest with you, yeah. I'm looking for any trade possible. I really didn't plan on being very good this year. I kind of hoped that I would just be a playoff team and still had a chance. I was kind of hoping to get more draft picks for next year after I've already gotten one. But so far, nobody's really been offering draft picks for next year for players such as DeAndre Hopkins or Keenan Allen. So
I also want to note, Wake and Baker just acquired Alex Collins for $40, and Malcolm acquired Samaje Perine for $30. Huge dollar
yeah, I
amounts
saw.
there.
I just dropped Alex Collins too. He was on my team.
That went through?
Yeah, they just went through as we were on the
Oh,
call.
nice.
Man, CJ Uzuma for $5.
Yeah, it seems like everybody thinks that's a fluke.
Yeah, I'm stout.
Well, that takes us back to the end of this podcast. We got some quick water cooler talk. I know we were talking about Tom's trading earlier. What do you guys have to say about Tom's trading?
I mean, where to begin?
My
Well,
5-year-old
running out of time, so I guess we'll keep it light.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if everyone's aware of this thing we have on here. It's called trade bait. But literally, every player that I don't have on there is who Tom always tried to trade to me or tries to take from me. Like, no, man. He always tries to take my best players and gives me nothing in return.
Players he's getting ready to drop, like Ben Roethlisberger.
Yes.
He's giving you the future.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's one of those. It's just hard for me to trade away people that I know are good now for people who might be good
In 3 years.
Yeah, like it's just hard for me to do that when I'm trying to win right now. Still.
He did offer me. Who is it? Jonathan Taylor for Calvin Ridley, I think.
See, that's at least reasonable.
That's
Like,
that's
my,
not that
my
terrible.
yeah, my
I was considering it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think mine was Trey Lance, Elijah Moore, and a first-round pick for Tyreek Hill and Derrick Henry. And I'm just like, there's no way that would ever happen.
He did revoke it 5 minutes after he sent it. He
Oh,
must have known he messed up.
He does that all the time, man. He'll offer you a trade, revoke it, and then send you a new one a few minutes later. And the first one is always better than the second one. I'm like, well, now that I saw the other one, I definitely don't want this.
He did that for Travis Kelce. I forget what he offered, but the first one was like semi-comparable, and then the second one was just like, dude, why'd you even send this one?
Yeah, I think he's also trying to pull the wool over our eyes too, and trying to get us to try to trade for his draft picks, thinking that he's gonna have a high draft pick or something.
Yeah, because I don't think he's going to. I mean, I'll give it to him, man. He's turned that team around with trades. Eventually, people say yes. So, like, yeah, I can't blame him for still sending them out. Like,
well, what else you guys got?
This league's gonna be close all year. That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah.
Seems like everyone's gonna be beating each other up.
Yeah, I'm going to be 3-2 and in second place next week, so.
I mean, you might be in first place.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Tied for first. Because I'm playing you. Yeah. Makes sense.
Are we playing? Yeah, that's right. We're playing this week. That's right. Yeah. Oh, man. It's going to be a nice week. I've had a pretty tough schedule so far.
So, you and I, Nate, we got to take down number ones because I'm playing Ricky. He's number one of the other division.
Yeah, I'm
Is
planning
Ricky
on it.
really
I'm definitely
number one,
playing
though?
Patrick Mahomes over Deshaun Watson.
I don't think it's the standings are set up, as Malcolm brought up on the last podcast. I don't think the standings are set up correctly based on what would actually make the playoffs. I think Tom is clearly the number one in the South right now based on points. But it does matter to head-to-head record. But I'm pretty sure Tom beat Ricky, too.
Well, it's because Ricky's 2-1 in the division and Tom's 1-2 in the division. Ricky
Right,
has...
but that doesn't matter for our playoffs, though.
Okay, gotcha.
It actually might. I mean, it would factor in not the record itself, but it is head-to-head matchups that points for.
Gotcha. But I'm just
Hmm.
that's how this thing is ranked because they're all 2-1 in the division, and he has the most points out of them. But
You're absolutely right. That is definitely why they're ranked the way they are. That's probably what you were asking earlier, Malcolm. That's got to be how they rank it in the standings, but it's not correct to the playoffs.
Well, no, because when I brought it up, you, me, and Chris were all 2-2. You beat me. Chris beat you. I beat Chris.
We were all 2-1.
Yeah, but we all had beaten each other, and I had the most points scored at the time, but I was second or third. So I didn't understand how it worked because we all had the same record. We all had
Yeah,
like the same division record, and it wasn't
yeah. Our
point
division
one.
record hasn't changed. You're right. I don't know. You're good point. Yeah. Guess it's not the same.
I mean,
False
it doesn't
equivalence.
matter right now. Like I was saying, it doesn't matter, necessarily right now. I just want to know what it is moving forward if this arises,
Yeah,
later on.
I don't know why the standings is different than what way our playoffs are set up, but it's definitely interesting. Definitely something to bring up. I don't know. I don't. Clearly hasn't affected us in 6 seasons, but might be something to look into with the rules committee or the trade committee / rules committee.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
it's
take a
how
look
you gonna
at it.
start earning your money.
what did you say?
It's time this rules trade committee starts earning their money.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, we've already pushed at least a trade through, two, no, one through. So
Yeah, just one.
we've got some work. Which
Totally
talk about the perfect time to trade Kenyon Drake. Whew.
effective.
Just in time before Peyton Barber to take that backfield.
Yeah, shout out to our league treasurer too of having 4 people unpaid today and got 3 within like 4 hours.
Yeah.
No,
Rule
very well done.
rules with an iron fist.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
It's the like what 4 decades of accounting.
We'll make sure that last person pays up, and if not, we'll make sure that they find a new home next season.
Yeah,
Lock them out.
we'll put them out the pasture.
Dang.
Old Yellerum.
You, back of the mob.
Real quick, hey, you guys know the woman from Game of Thrones who did the Shane scene?
Yeah, it's from Ted Lasso.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
Ted
yeah.
Lasso.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
yeah.
Hmm.
See, we've got it all on this podcast: entertainment and sports.
Hey, Nate, have you seen Midnight Mass?
Seen what?
Midnight Mass?
No, I have not.
Oh man,
It's
Chris,
good.
you saw it, right?
No, I haven't started watching it yet. I haven't had time to
Oh,
sit down and
man.
actually watch it.
The first episode's a
to
little
listen out.
slow. Just get past it. It's worth it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it starts real slow, but my god, the ending of episode 5 is flawless. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen a better ending. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, Malcolm.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Like the best ending to an episode I've ever seen. Just
And it's got Matt Saracen. It's got QB1 as like a star in that show.
is that Friday
All right.
Night Lights? Is that his name?
Yeah, yeah.
I've got it queued up.
It's only 7 episodes long. It takes no time, but it's really, really strong. Did not expect it to be as good as it was.
Yeah, I just finished Squid Game.
Yeah, only watched episode 1 last night. Pretty solid.
Squid
Yeah,
Game's
it's-
awesome.
It's not as bad. I've heard there's some controversy over the translation, but yeah, it was decent. Either way, definitely exciting and worth it.
Well, that concludes our entertainment portion of the podcast.
Yeah, stay tuned for the special entertainment podcast next week.
Well, next week I think we're gonna do most improved players, most just exciting players, players that we didn't expect to be as good as they are. We'll try to do that next week. Go through another power rankings. Go through the week again. Maybe do something else a little outside the box. We'll do that again. What, 3 weeks or so?
Yeah, something like that.
We'll try to do the quarterly power rankings again. We'll try to make it work like that. But yeah, we should be on pace for being pretty consistent with these podcasts. I know we just started a month ago, and we're already knocked out our 3rd one.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a wrap. Anything else you guys want to say before we finish this long podcast again?
I just wanted to thank you guys for the invitation to the podcast, and I'm looking forward to doing many more in the future.
You won't be invited back.
Maybe we
Just
can get
start his own
Tom on the
podcast with
podcast.
Tom.
It's the difference in the
We won't
times.
get
The
in
difference in
trouble
the
defending
time zones.
Queen.
It's not gonna work for us.
Nate, I think you
Yeah,
should
I
start
think-
your own podcast with Tom, where you just talk about all the trades that you try.
Yes.
That's a great idea. We'll start our own. We'll be the. Whoa, wait, is Tom in the South?
The Tom
No.
Trade
he's
Cast.
in the South.
Yeah,
So we'll do our South podcast then. Our own.
Alright.
You mean
mediocre.
the winless division?
Yeah.
No championships whatsoever.
Well, why don't you calm down? No championships over there.
Yeah, for real.
Hey, man,
Take our glory.
for me.
You're
Bow,
like
bow,
Arkansas,
peasant.
trying to grind on Bama and LSU.
Well, nothing else. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Nate, thanks for joining us. Hopefully, we can bring you back again if Chris invites you back. Chris, Malcolm, it's been a pleasure.
All right.
And that's going to be it for Dynasty Talk Podcast.
Peace out, guys.
Good day.
Peace.